right, Ronnie, thanks a lot for doing this. So tell me about your partnership with Haynes and the campaign they have going on.
Yeah, well, this partnership has been phenomenal. We're on a mission to give out some of the softest comfort blend T-shirts ever. And the reason we're going to do that is because Haynes said, you know what, we got to find a way to include ourselves in the conversation with fans. And not only are we going to do that, but we're going to find out who the toughest fans are. So we surveyed 6,000 fans, and we said, you know what, of those surveys, we're going to find out who is really the best, toughest fans in America. And so we said, okay, what does that mean? We said, okay, we're going to find out, do they travel well? Do they buy tickets? Do they wear gear? Do they wear their gear home every night? Do they wear it to their bathrooms? We said we're going to find out all these different attributes. And then when we did that, we came up with a list. And we came up with an incredible list of people. And by the way, you're going to be surprised who's number one. I'm not going to tell you who's number one, but I'm going to start off with number 5. Chicago's number 5. Pittsburgh's number 2. Pittsburgh's number 4. And then Philadelphia is number 3. And Green Bay is number 2. And then I'm going to take a pause here because I want you to tweet, because I know you guys don't even believe this. I want you to tweet at Haynes with hashtag America's Toughest to tell me that you disagree with this. And if you disagree with it, please let me know, because the number one team is your Oakland Raiders. The Raiders are number 1. So let us know, get involved in the conversation. And by the way, you get a chance to win a Comfort Blend Haynes t-shirt.
So you're telling me that trying to sit in the black hole with all those crazies down there, that makes you a little tougher than cold weather at this time of year?
Well, they're trying to tell me that that's tougher, and I'm trying to tell them that I don't know if that's tougher, but I do know this. Being a fan and being a person who's walked around and being a person who's been in the black hole, being a person that's seen it all, I would tell you, man, that cold weather trumps the black hole. But hey, you know what? Most people they've never been in the black hole, so they don't know if it's cold or hot in the black hole. But I can assure you that once you're in the black hole, you never want to go back.
What's the toughest fan encounter you've had after a game or before a game, or someone talking to you, either a fan of your team or a fan of the other team?
Well, I got to tell you, I was playing against the Miami Dolphins. It was 1985, and boy, I had a tough day, a really tough day. The Miami Dolphins that came to San Francisco, we had beaten them in the Super Bowl the year before. They come out in Dan Marino, and Dan Marino is throwing the ball everywhere on us. And after the game, we lost the game. I'm coming out, and I'm going to this restaurant. I'm sitting at a restaurant, and this guy walks up to me, and he goes, man, I'm really tired. I'm really tired. I can't believe that you played that bad. And, man, I can't believe that you stunk up the field. And man, you know, I'm just exhausted watching that game. And he goes, you know, you got to be exhausted, too, because you look really, really bad. And that's when I realized that, man, fans can tell you things and say things to you, and all you got to do is take it. And that's all I could do is take it, because he was right. I played terrible. I didn't play that good. It was a long day playing against Dan Marino, and it was a long day that day because Dan Marino was so hot. And fortunately for me, I had to go home and go to sleep. I had to, you know, I had to cry in my pillow that night, and it was worth it all.
Were you impressed that he just wasn't intimidated by your playing style and he could just walk up right to you and say that thing?
Yeah, you know what? I've had fans that have walked up and said a lot of things, and sometimes they're good and sometimes they're bad. The one thing that I don't do, and I've never felt like I should do, is that, you know, they have their opinions, and sometimes their opinions are what they want to express. You know, I've always felt like, you know, if you're a fan, you should also respect the game. You should appreciate the game and appreciate the guys that are out there doing what they're doing. But some fans can, you know, they can be over the top and be aggressive and tell you what they're thinking.
Right now, the 49ers, with Dante Whitner, he wanted to change his name to Dante Hittner to kind of match what he his playing style. Would you have ever considered something like that to match your hard-hitting ways?
Well, I think one of the things I always find fascinating to me is that when you see a guy like that who's a terrific football player, the bigger question is for him is continue to do your craft, whether it's Hittner or Whitner. You're a phenomenal football player, a player that plays with a lot of passion, who has a chip on his shoulder, who comes to work and gives everything he can to his craft. He's a really good football player. I think what I love about him is that every time I see him play, he tries to bring and intimidate guys. So you got to love the passion about how he plays the game. But whether it's Hittner or Whitner, I'm excited that he's a part of the 49ers, and I'm excited the fact that he is a capable guy of creating turnovers and being a guy who can contribute to the San Francisco 49ers.
Is it different or tougher for safeties now? We saw with T.J. Ward for the Browns in this game with Rob Gronkowski and that injury. Is it just tougher with the rules, how to go after a guy if you can't hit him up high? Are you put in a position where you have to take down all these bigger guys lower? Or how do you think the game has changed in that respect when you guys were all laying the wood on guys?
Well, I think what's fascinating to me about football is that you can go back over the history of playing this game, and people have hit at the knees for a long time. This isn't the first hit, and it won't be the last hit of hitting at the knees. And the reason why is that you're talking about a guy who is 6'5", 6'7", and a guy who is maybe 6'1", 6'2". So you're going to find that guys are always going to attack and try to cut guys, try to get them down on the ground. That's how a lot of guys are taught, and that's the game of football. It's been around. Now the question is that safe that happens? And I would argue, and a lot of people would argue, that maybe it's not safe, but that area of the game has always been around. They used to call it the cross-body block, that guys would even block below the waist. Now they took that out. So you might have to take that rule out of hitting guys below, and that might be the answer, but right now it's not the answer, and right now that's what is part of the game, and the reason it's part of the game, I think a lot of guys will tell you, if you're not a big guy, it's hard to take down a lineman. It's hard to take down if you're Darrell Green and you're a small guy and you're a defensive back, you're going to try to cut guys, and the reason you're going to try to cut them is that's the way that you got to use your size to your advantage, is cutting guys.
So tell fans again how they can follow this Haynes campaign and get in on the toughness as well.
Well, I can tell you this right now. Haynes is asking all of us to join in. I'm joining in. You're joining in. I think others are joining in. And all we're asking people to do is a tweet at Haynes with the hashtag America's Toughest, with hashtag America's Toughest for a chance to win a T-shirt. And we're asking everybody to get into this debate. And the reason we're asking people to talk about it is we know that there are great fans out there, but we also want to reward some of the fans out there and just provide them a chance to win a Haynes Comfort Blend T-shirt.
All right, thanks a lot, Ronnie. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.